Today is Sunday, April 28th, and the market is going to be opening in about, what is it, 6 hours? We have a few hours till market opens, so let's get gold taken care of today. So we're going to start from the weekly. And right here on the weekly, I'm looking at a couple of things here. We don't have a top wick on this weekly candle. So, and we broke the lows of the previous 2 weeks. So we broke the low of the previous 2 weeks, and we also, yeah, all right. So we broke the low of the previous 2 weeks here, this one and this one, and then we pulled back in. So from the weekly, now we're looking at the daily. So what I see here when I'm looking at the daily is, we had all this momentum pushing. This was a big push up right here, right? Week after week, just straight up, week after week, week after week. So we had what was that? 2 weeks of just 2, 3 weeks of just straight up. Not more than that. A couple months since February. We about to be in May. It's been shooting up. Nice. Alrighty. So back to the daily. Everybody's been trying to call the top of this, and I think we finally got it. Now, what I want to figure out is, are we going to be coming back up to retest these highs before continuing down, or are we just about to go ahead and start making that movement down? So again, looking at the weekly, I personally don't believe that we're going to be coming back up here to break these highs or to break the last week previous highs. What I do believe is that we're going to continue to get a little bit more of a pullback just so that we can create the weekly top wick. So we may go bullish on today slash tomorrow and start to push up here. However, it's going to be quickly, in my opinion, I think it's going to quickly turn into a downward movement, and we're going to start pushing down to come out and retest this zone here. I do believe that this zone, or at least the top of this wick, is where price wants to come for a good retest before it potentially continues up. Even with what's going on around the world in terms of war and Ukraine and Russia and the Palestine conflict and the China-Taiwan situation that's going on, I do believe gold is in need of a retrace for it to healthily continue on its gains. If it just keeps pushing up, the eventually the bottom's gonna fall out and it's gonna drop. It's not gonna continue pushing up without coming back and retesting something. So as I was saying, this area here, let me draw a little, I'm gonna put something there just to mark it. Let's see. What do I want? Oh, here we go. But just to mark that as a potential. All right, so we got that. But this zone is really what I would like to see it come back down to. And this is why. Before we finally broke, we came up and boom, bounced it off. Boom, came back up, tested it, bounced off. Came back up, boom, tested it, bounced off. And then we finally broke through it. We have yet to come back down and retest this. So I do believe we done hit negative 67 on this fib up here. It really doesn't have any more to go. We got some good wick rejection up here. I would really like to see over the next few weeks or months, probably like the next 2 months, some downwards pressure on gold back to this zone. All right. And with all that being said, that's just what I would like based off of what is happening on major structure on the weekly. So now when I come down to the daily, here's what I'm seeing. You made this push up. I drew a trend line here, and we finally have broken down below this trend line. This is a nice zone here. You only see I have this red line here to mark this zone. However, I should have I should have put like a gray zone here. What this looks like to me is this zone where we have these order blocks. I'm not going to call these order blocks. So we have this big push up here. Then we have this big push up here, and then we've broken through and we've coming back, and it seems like we have retested this level here. We're getting the wick rejection. I would like to see a similar candle in this former top. I would like to see this former top, which means for this to be a top, the next candle needs to be bearish. So we can get something like this to where we have the wick pushing up, but the candle close for the next 24-hour candle that's going to be coming out, it needs to close below here. It needs to close below this level right here. So, you know, keep on dropping down. See what this looks like. You know, drop down to the 4-hour here. Yeah. All right. So from here on the 4-hour, now I have these two trend lines drawn out. This trend line is based off of these wicks. So in situations like this, I sometimes like to do two trend lines only because I haven't fully decided what is more accurate. Is, you know, going off of trend lines, going off of wicks, or finding, you know, majority of price. I have mixed feelings about this stuff, so I like to draw both in situations like this, just so I can kind of see how it's going to play out. Because I feel like putting these trend lines down here on these wicks means that if I'm waiting for a trend line break, it's really like last minute. I mean, it's late. Usually I've missed a lot of the move if I wait for the wick trend line to break. Now, when I go with majority of price, what you have to be careful is on minor time frames, is on the smaller time frames, like when, see, this is the 4-hour. So when I drop down to the 1 hour, the 30 minutes, or even 15 minutes, these wicks are full candlesticks. So they sometimes can be what appear to be false breakouts. Excuse me. So yeah, but they sometimes can be what appear to be false breakouts. For instance, I'm just going to drop down to the 15 really quick, just so we can show what this looks like. See, we get the break, and then it quickly pushes right back above. Again, we get the break, and then it quickly pushes right back above. So on smaller time frames, which is where I execute my trades, those can be false breakouts. So you have to be careful with that. So with that being said, I'm watching both of these trend lines and how we react. Now, what I kind of would like to see is for potential trade entries to start this week off, is when price opens up here, price is going to open up right here. I would really like to see it push up to this zone, tap this zone one more time, and respect these highs. If we respect these highs and we start to push back down, I believe that once we get below this trend line, we're going to start continuing to push down. Just based off of what I'm looking at here, I believe gold is going to be selling this upcoming week. To what price, I'm not certain, but I do believe that we're going to get a break of these trend lines here soon, and we're going to start to push down. What I'm really trying to determine is, maybe this isn't enough. Maybe making it up to this line isn't enough for it to go ahead and start pushing down. This looks like a potential target. A wick up here, sweep liquidity, and then starting to push down is potential. So we got this zone right here. I'll pause this. Okay. So as I was saying, going to be looking for somewhat of a push up. This is the potential area right here that we may be coming to, or up to this area up here. I mean, quite frankly, I don't think I feel comfortable taking buys or holding buys until we get back above these highs here. So if we stop, if we turn the corner and start to push back down anywhere below these highs, I'm going to be looking to sell it back down. So now we're going to drop down a little further, start to really analyze this minor structure a little bit more. So now we're looking at the hourly. And what we have right here on the hourly, like we've got, we're currently in an uptrend. We push down, we're currently in an uptrend. This is an immediate uptrend here. We got highs, we got higher highs and lower highs. Saying that right? We got higher highs and lower highs. So we're respecting highs, we're respecting lows, and we're taking out highs. That's what's happening here. I need to say that again. All right. All right, so here on the hourly chart, as you can see, this was that big candle on the 4-hour and the daily. Big candle here, pushing down. We broke structure here. So on the hourly, looking for continuations. But we have to be very careful because, as we stated on major structure, we're anticipating this to continue down. Major structure, this appears to be a pullback and not a change of direction. This is a pullback. In my opinion, this is a pullback. So I'm going to go ahead and do something here. I'm going to go ahead and throw a fib. I'm going to throw a fib right here. From here, no, this one, boom, back. So we're going to do it from right here. Oh, my allergies are kidding me. I took some Allegra and it's really not helping me right now. Oh, my eyes are watering up, all of that. Okay. All right. So here's our fib. We already tapped the negative, the 50%. However, let's go ahead and do this because I want to see what it looks like on my premium zone fib. So let's get that out. Where is up here? Move you down here so I can see you. Premium zone. So we're barely tapping into that premium zone. So I really do like for it to come up here. So I think we may buy it up to this zone potentially. This is a great retest right here. We broke through and now we've retested this zone right here. So that's a great retest. So I may look for it to pull down to right here for some entries, and using this low here, maybe this low here as my stop loss. Let's see what this looks like. So we're going to drop down to 15-minute structure here. Okay. So to make this a little bit more visible, I'm going to go ahead and get back off of this. What did I just do? I don't know what I just did. Okay. So I believe the 61.8 is a very good target here before we shift structure to start pushing back down. Honestly, I think it may come all the way up to here, retest these levels, and then start to push back down. But I feel confident that I can get a trade in from here up to this level here. So that's kind of what I'm going to be eyeing and seeing how price opens up when the markets open back up. I'm going to be eyeing entering a trade, entering a buy from around here to here. Now what I'm going to be looking for that entry though is we got this nice push down here, come back up, and we're pushing down again. So I'm going to throw a trend line over from point A, point B, drag it across point, this is point C. So now what we're going to be looking for, I'm going to draw it all the way down to this one. Yeah, so now what we're going to be looking for is for it to pull back, break above, retest, and then we're going to take it up. So again, what we're looking for is something like this. Something like this. Of course, it's not going to give us this exactly. I mean, it may, but I'm not counting on that. So we're looking for some kind of price action like this. Push down, break through this trend line, and it may do it down here. Who knows? So push down, break up through the trend line, retest up the trend line to take it back up. And I'll be looking for that entry somewhere on either the 15 or the 5-minute structure. So that's my breakdown on gold to start off the week. This is just to start off the week. All right, let's go ahead and move on